Welcome back to Leeds Lately. Before we get into this video, make sure you hit that big button down below. Make sure as well you go out to the description and you check out my link to my Etsy store if you want to support me as a YouTuber and as a graphic designer as well, my two professions. Then go to my Etsy store and check out my Leeds United artwork made for Leeds United fans by a Leeds United fan. And if you fancy something, give it a purchase and I'll get that shipped out to you. So today's video then is about Noah Okafor. Now, Noah Okafor is a Swiss winger currently at Serie A side AC Milan, who you'll all remember played us very recently at the Aviva Stadium in Dublin. Now, Noah Okafor was playing out on their left-hand side, and he was by far their most dangerous player in that first half, and the second half as well, to be fair. The way that he skinned Isaac Schmidt, look, it is Isaac Schmidt, but the way that he was able to go past players, the way that he was able to open up chances for crossing opportunities and stuff, is something that I would really like to see from a Leeds United winger. Now, the reason I think Noah Okafor would be so good for Leeds is because of his ability to be creative. He's a little bit like Ladji Ramazani in terms of his ability to just kind of spring off the mark. He's very explosive. He can go past a player very, very easily. And once he's skinned them, he then looks up to try and get something in the box. He's a little bit of a mixture between Dan James and Ramazani, if I'm quite honest, with Dan James's pace and Ramazani's kind of explosiveness to be able to go past someone and open up a chance to shoot. He's not a prolific goal scorer, but that's not what I would say we are particularly looking from him. He hasn't had an amazing last couple of years at Milan. In the last 2 years at Milan, he signed in 2023 from RB Salzburg, and since then he has scored 7 goals and got 2 assists in the league. And that's not prolific. It's not amazing. When he was at Salzburg, obviously it's an easier league, so 7 goals and 3 assists in his last season there in 2023. 2022, 9 goals, 8 assists. 2021, 6 goals, 3 assists. And before that, he was at Basel in the Turkish Super League, Swiss Super League, not Turkish. But Noah Okafor, I think, would be a very good fit for Leeds United. He's one of those players who wouldn't necessarily be an amazing marquee signing for a top club, but he's someone whose profile specifically fits what Leeds need from a left winger. Somebody who's going to be a little bit more creative, cutting inside from the flank, able to score goals, yes, at times, but more likely to open up spaces for his opposition, from his opposition and for his teammates to run into. Before we have a look at his statistics, we always kind of talk about this. Similar players to Noah Okafor. Noni Madueke, of course, now at Arsenal, but was at Chelsea. Rafael Leao at Milan. Adama Traore at Fulham. Garnacho at Scum. Gabriel Martinelli at Arsenal. Mitoma at Brighton. Harvey Barnes at Newcastle. Conceição at Juventus. And Savio at Manchester City. So a really, really decent list of players to be compared to in terms of his statistics. Now, one of the reasons for this is his really, really good dribbling. We can look at his other statistics. We can look at the amount of shots he takes. He's above average for shots taken, 2.41 per 90. And he's a little bit low on his shot creating actions, 3.21 per 90. Put him in only in the 31st percentile for that. But what we look at is as his real kind of his best attributes is beating a man and carrying the ball forward and getting you into good areas for your other teammates to be able to create chances. So his progressive carries are up at 5.63 per 90, putting him in the top 8% of wingers and attacking midfielders in Europe's top 5 leagues. Successful take-ons, 3.54 per 90, putting him in the top 1% of Europe's top 5 leagues. So when we talk about a 1v1 winger, somebody who can take the ball past someone, you look no further than Noah Okafor in that sense. Touches in the attacking penalty area, 6.27 per 90, 88th percentile, so he's getting into good areas. And how many times is he receiving the ball in the final third and opening up options for passing lanes, 11.09 per 90, putting him in the top 11% of Europe's top 5 leagues. And as well, he's 6'1", and his aerials are up at 0.96 per 90, putting him in the 81st percentile. So you're offering another kind of not necessarily a hold-up player, but another target to hit from goal kicks, from long balls under pressure from maybe Jakub and Joe Rodon. He's somebody who's going to win your headers, and then when he's actually got the ball at his feet, he's going to take people on. Now, you may not be completely kind of convinced by Noah Okafor, and I would understand that because he's not as good as somebody like Igor Paixão that we were looking at as well. But in terms of being a good signing for Leeds United, he's way up there. Wages of €24,000 a week, not high at all for somebody like Leeds to be able to give him a little increase on that to incentivize him to come here. 25 years old, so a decent ceiling still to his career. And the other thing to mention is his value. Now, €13 million according to Transfermarkt, which means that Leeds would be able to get him in the region of €20 million. Now, the reason I say that is because apparently AC Milan have rejected a bid from unknown club, I think Leeds, a lot of people think Leeds, for Noah Okafor for €15 million. So I imagine that if Leeds put up just a little bit more money, €20 million, which is probably about 16, 17 million pounds, you might be able to get Noah Okafor over the line. And for that price, I think it's very good value for somebody who's going to create chances. Like I said, you've got to kind of forget the player, forget that he came from Salzburg originally. Think of the player profile. If he wasn't called Noah Okafor, if he hadn't played for them, and if you're just looking at his ability and his skill set, he is able to create chances just with his sheer ability to knock the ball past people and run and open up chances for his teammates. You've got to kind of take the names and the clubs and everything out of these transfers at times, because it also is important to have context of where they've played. But he is certainly somebody who I think would do very well at Leeds United. Let me just have a quick look on whoscored.com. I forgot to check out what positions he's played in. Okay, yeah, so there is some context for last season as well, which I always like to have a look at. So last season, he played 15 times from the bench. He only started 7 games for Milan. He really only started 7 games for them. 4 from the left-hand side as an attacking midfielder, so not necessarily a winger. 2 as a centre forward, and 1 as a left winger as well. So the left wing position that Leeds would be wanting him to play this season, he only played there once last season. So that gives you a little bit of context as to why maybe he didn't score that many goals last season. I think it's important to look at that. I really do. It's not something that kind of a lot of people tend to think about too much. Has he actually been played in his position for a whole season? Similar thing with Nicolas Gonzalez that we looked at the other day from Juventus. Been played all over the place and never had a proper run at his actual position. So take that into context. Think about it with an open mind and talk about player profiles rather than just the player themselves. And then let me know what you think down in the comments below of Noah Okafor transfer rumour. Thanks for watching Leeds Lately. Hopefully this provides a little bit more context to the transfers that we are kind of rumoured to be in for. We may have seen some movement. I'm recording this on Thursday evening, so we may have seen some movement by the time this video even comes out, in which case, buzz in. If not, we've got a real job to do, and we are live tomorrow for the Everton game, so make sure you come along to the channel for that one. Thanks for watching Leeds Lately, and I shall see you in the next one.